This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. We welcome your calls, your comments, your questions. If you want to reach out and touch us right here in the studio, you can give us a call right now at 347-857-3958. Again, that number here to the studio is 347-857-3958. Irv?
Yes, sir.
How was your day today, sir?
It was wonderful, man. I have two words for you.
Oh, let's hear it.
You know what it is?
What is it?
Go Texans.
Man, I'm going to tell you this.
Oh, my stars.
This past Sunday, we played. We're an 8-1 team. We're playing a 1-8 team.
Right.
And we were in a dogfight from kickoff.
I mean, but you know, let's be honest. This particular team fights harder on our team than anyone else they play.
You think that's the case?
I really do see. I really do believe that's the case. And let me tell you what. I made the grave error of going to the game.
Oh, you went to the game?
Oh, my stars. I should not have gone to the game.
Well, that's one of the best ones to attend.
Oh, man. I tell you what.
It was a roller coaster, though.
It was a roller coaster, man. You see, I got a fresh, listen, if you're watching us on Ustream.tv, I've got a fresh new haircut. Because I pulled plugs of hair out of my head, and I finally just shaved my head.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to see what he looks like, you can go to our website, which is www.cruzandhughes.com. That's C-R-U-I-S-E and Hughes, cruzandhughes.com. Now, I will say that it was a really good game, although I like blowouts better than I do, you know, those close nail biters.
Oh, my stars, man. You know what? And you know, the weather was absolutely gorgeous on yesterday.
Yeah.
And they shut the roof.
Which makes no sense.
I couldn't figure that thing out.
I mean, we only get 2 or 3 days a year
I know,
in Texas that, you know, where you can actually be outside.
That's right. Especially in South Texas. I mean, at this time of the year, you know, see, folks around the country, you may not know, but here in South Texas, we have something called mosquitoes.
Oh, man. And humidity.
And that's right. And they're about the size of Black Hawk choppers. Okay. And you can always tell when they're coming. And in this particular instance, they closed the roof. I guess they wanted to try to magnify or compress the sound.
Yeah.
And, you know, the 12th man got like 2 penalties on the opposing team, which was really great.
Yeah, and that does help, especially in a game that close.
Oh, absolutely. Now, it shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah. It
shouldn't have been.
It should not have been. But nonetheless, we support our Texans. We're glad that they won. And in moving forward, again, I'd like to encourage you that if you ever want to go to our website and watch what we do when we go live here on the show, you can go to cruzandhughes.com. You also can listen to our archives there, which we keep these shows stored in their entirety. Now, you know what? One of the last shows that we did was talking about using the end of the year as an opportunity for you to sort of look back at your business, sort of reassess where you are versus where you're going. I think today's topic is sort of in line with that.
Oh, it absolutely is in line with that, you know, because, you know, when we do these shows, folks, you know, we do them for you. And you, the small business owner, we do this show so that you can have the opportunity not only to assess where you've been, but perhaps even take a view toward where you should go, or what you should do next.
Right.
And today's topic, folks, we're going to be talking about the top 10 fastest growing industries from now through really 2017, but we're going to talk about 2013.
Certainly.
Because if you're just getting going in this industry, or you're trying to see if maybe there's opportunities for you to expand in some of these new industries, these are some industries that we want to kind of point your attention to and give you the opportunity to go and do your own research. And now, don't worry, we're going to give you some rails to run on, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we thought that this would really be some meaningful and relevant information at this time of the year.
Now, let's talk about who can benefit from this, because you think about it. You always have the startup, the guy who's
Right.
really just about to get started. I'll say the guy or gal who's just about to get started in a business, and they really don't have a direction in terms of what they want to do, but they know they want to do something.
Right.
This could be one of those industries that you definitely want to give some consideration to.
You want to, absolutely.
Because who wants to jump into something that's
Dying.
dying or dead?
That's right.
Like a VCR repair. I love using that because, I mean, could you even find somebody
I
who
don't
can
know.
repair?
I don't know. And most people, I think, if they are advertising VCR repair, they're really using it to get you to come in there so you can buy something
else, hopefully, yeah.
Right.
So you think about it, if you're a startup and you're looking for an area, this gives you some indication of what's hot, what's happening right now, what's trending. And it's always good to know that. I really don't like to use the word hot because that sort of makes it sound like it's speculative or it's something that may be hot today. But no, what we're talking about are industries that have performed well basically over the past not only 10 years,
That's right.
but are anticipated to do well over the next 4 to 5.
And incidentally, folks, these particular industries actually fared well even during the downturn. Now, all industries were down during the downturn of 2008, 2009, even into the front part of 2010. But these particular industries really got our attention because they didn't tank, folks. They just slowed down.
Right.
And a slowdown is one thing, and a crash is another one.
Certainly, and I don't know if you guys have listened to Irv and I over the past year or so that we've been doing this show, and we talked about the industries that we were in pre-2008, and my industry crashed. I was in the finance business in terms of us financing real estate.
Right, and I was financing businesses.
So and that industry crashed,
and we both came into radio.
And we both came in. We ran scuttling and holding our backsides. But we're going to talk about industries that have done well over the last 10 years, expected to do well over the next 4 to 5. And who else could benefit from this? Irv, I'm thinking that someone who is currently in a business that has made some good revenue, and that is looking to invest in another industry, or someone looking to diversify their business ownership. I think this is an excellent opportunity for you to at least do some research on some other industries.
And not only that, John, but I'm talking about really industries, folks. If you're in the business of support, maybe you're in the business support industry where you support other businesses. Boy, I tell you what, this is a good place to go fishing for some customers.
Absolutely.
Because if you're in the business support, administrative support kinds of businesses, where you want to attach, you want your customers to be the high growth industries over the coming years, this is a really good place, some industries for you to start fishing for new customers.
And I tell you what, lastly, if you're someone who's in one of these industries already, then you definitely may want to consider a level of expansion. You do need to know exactly what you're up against, how your industry is going to fare out over the next 4 to 5 years, and this may give you, some different thought processes on how you can advance what you're already doing or how you can grow your current footprint.
No doubt.
Now, what I don't get is why you guys ran from one crashing industry into radio.
That's what we do, Stephen.
It's what we do. Somebody's got to suffer. Somebody has to go to jail, Stephen.
Absolutely. So
you ran to media. You ran to radio.
Well, you know what? Who best to tell our story than to come and team up with you and produce a show and talk about the lumps that we took.
Yeah, and you know what? That gives us credibility, though, Stephen.
We're in an industry where we're not going to make money anymore. Where should we go? Oh, yeah, a poor man's business. Let's go into radio.
That's right. Well, and you know what? The point is, look what we've brought to radio, John.
Hey.
We've brought our years of expertise,
years of experience.
We've paid for these tough classes.
Oh, dearly.
We've gotten the T-shirts, folks, and that gives us the credibility to be able to sit here and talk to you. That's why John and I are so passionate when we're talking to you about some of these things, because some of this stuff, folks, we've experienced.
Well, all of this is attached to great pain as it relates to you and I. I mean, so we're not telling you about things that we've actually read. These are things that we've experienced. But let's get it underway. Let's talk. Let's throw the first industry out there, because there are a couple of these, Irv, that I really didn't expect to be on the list, and there are some that we're going to add. If we don't get through all of them today,
Sure.
we'll continue this show tomorrow. But and there's a few that we'd like to add,
Absolutely.
because they make just good common sense in terms of you at least investing the time to do some research on your own.
That's right. And folks, remember, these are industries that are expected to continue to grow at a really brisk pace for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And so let's hit the first one, John.
All right.
And before we go to break, we can hit the first one. Folks, we want you to think green. And if you hadn't heard it already, you're going to.
Yeah.
There are government mandates that are driving the green industry. And folks, let me tell you, that's the key drivers for this industry, because part of most world governments are trying to figure out how to reduce dependency on fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And so guess what? The green industry is green. It's absolutely growing. So that's some of the drivers.
Well, when you think about green too, you there are a couple different aspects. One of which is you getting into the solar panel,
no doubt,
business.
That's a green business for sure.
Or you could be one that produces or manufactures green materials that are used for construction, and those are both two ways
That's right.
that you can think green. Why don't we'll give them some numbers when we come back from the break and talk a little bit about how the business or how that industry has grown and how it's anticipated to grow.
Yeah, because I kind of want to learn more about solar panels.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially if I could get them installed on my house.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do with a solar panel? I mean, what if you put it on the roof of your car? Does that work?
Well, the Fisker has a solar panel on the roof of that car, so maybe we'll pull that up and talk about that. Guys, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, which is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. It is the only magazine in Houston, Texas that is for and about Houston's entrepreneurs. To get your free copy of the publication that we do every single month, you can go to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. More in a moment with Cruz and Hughes. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the deuce up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan.
This storm's coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Captain Jerkedy. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irv and I are talking about the top 10 fastest growing industries, and we're also going to throw a couple in that you should probably do some homework yourself on. But like I said earlier in the first segment, if you're someone that's looking for a good idea, looking for somewhere to perhaps start a business,
sure,
you might want to consider one of these industries.
Absolutely. And folks, if you're in a support industry where you're fishing for some new customers and you want to look for some new ponds to fish in, this might be the report for you for sure, where you want to hear what we have to say about some of these growth numbers. And John, I thought maybe we'd jump in and talk about some of these growth numbers. You know, when we went to break, we were talking about the solar panel industry.
Right. And you know, when you look at it, the solar panel manufacturing industry, I got to say that, I mean, which to me is just huge. They've had an average annual revenue growth of 32.3% from 2002 to 2012.
So that's their 10-year growth increase.
32.3%.
That's insane growth.
And just think, I don't even own a solar panel, and
no,
they've still grown.
No, exactly.
Hugely.
Exactly.
You know, and so now that's including an expected growth of 9.4% for all of 2012. Now,
so that's for this year.
That's for this year. Now, surely we're almost out of 2012, and we won't really know if they hit that mark until probably the first quarter of 2013.
Yeah, after March they'll know.
But I'm anticipating that you know, this business is going to be pretty solid for years to come, as you put it, because we're trying to reduce our dependency on fossil fuels.
Well, that's exactly right. And the other thing, folks, is that you know, this particular industry is, with regard to solar panels, the raw material around the world has actually gone down.
So they're getting cheaper to make.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're getting cheaper to make, which means that now it's more profitable for people to get into this. So it's kind of a perfect storm there for solar panels and people who want to get into manufacturing these. So certainly an industry you want to take a look at.
Now, over the next 5 years, revenue for the solar panel manufacturing industry is expected to continue expanding at an average rate of 8.2% per year.
That is fantastic growth, folks, because that means over 5 years, year-over-year growth at 8%. You're talking about nearly 40% now, which would outpace the previous 10 years.
Right.
You know, so you're talking about 32% 10-year growth going now to 40% 5-year growth. Think about that.
Now, you know what, and I'm also thinking about too that if it were not for large subsidies that a lot of these companies are getting,
right,
you know, would that industry be moving at the pace at which it's moving?
No, of course not. I mean, because now those manufacturers really would, I think, find it tougher to compete. I think they would find it tougher to find the capital they need, because that's a reasonably capital-intensive business, because now you're talking about manufacturing. So without those subsidies to make investors a bit more comfortable with people who are getting started in that industry, I think it would not be growing that fast.
But since they are there, the subsidies are you know, they do exist, sure. And if you can get them. If it helps your business and it helps you provide a quality product and bring it to the marketplace, then I say get it.
That's right, folks. And let me just tell you, go fishing for the U.S. Department of Energy. That's where you find them.
Well, and you being a government man yourself, so right. I'm certain that if a subsidy does exist, you would encourage someone to go and get it.
Absolutely. Go and get it.
Now let's talk about green and sustainable building construction.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. You know, see, now when you start talking about green and sustainable building construction, folks, the building itself, the construction industry, people who specialize in building construction, but not just construction, but building a green building. In other words, using green materials, using sustainable, energy efficient kinds of products and controls in that building for climate control, for example. Those folks, that's big business right now, because there are a lot of people don't know this, John, but there's literally federal mandates now that the federal government itself
Right.
All federal buildings must have a plan in place, actually, for 2010, and then they had till 2012 to begin the implementation phase of this.
Now, is this for new buildings to be constructed?
No, sir. No, sir.
Really?
This is all buildings, whether you're existing, that's retrofitted buildings.
Wow.
That means the lighting has to be changed in those old buildings.
That's right.
That means that the air circulation, high efficiency filtration systems have to be put in place. High efficiency air conditioning and heating systems. I mean, there's a long list. That's even for the existing buildings, and then for the new buildings, there's brand new codes that have to be met.
Wow. Wow. Well, I tell you what, just to give you some numbers, since 2002, industry revenue has experienced an annualized growth of 28.9%. And they were anticipated to grow at 18.3% just this year here in 2012.
And that's awesome. And folks, you know what, John? I'm really hoping, John, that a lot of people use this particular show. Some of this information, folks, can really be used in your business plan.
Right.
Going forward. You know, one of the things John and I are big on is, hey, projecting where you're going to be. And when you're taking a look at where your business is going to go, you know, some of these growth rates, these average annual growth rates can be really helpful for you in projecting out those numbers. So don't discount using some of these numbers we're giving you.
Absolutely not. And, you know, and the thing is that when you're doing a business plan, you have to know something about your industry or the industry that you're looking to go into, and finding these types of numbers. Now, Irv is a master at finding numbers like this, but you have to include that in your business plan because it shows either your investor or your banker that not only that you know what you're doing, but you know what the industry itself is doing, and which is really important.
That is extremely important to an investor because, of course, that reduces risk and increases your chances of being successful. And that's what all investors are looking for and are looking to buy.
Now, this next one that made the list was somewhat of a shock to me.
Okay.
And this business is the self-tanning product manufacturing industry.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I don't know if you heard about this, but it's been in the news. You might have heard of, and I don't want to get too specific here, but folks, you might have heard of people who've gone and, you know, cooked themselves in a tanning bed. and
are you referring to the tanning mom?
I was not going to go there, John. I'm just saying that, you know, some people even say that habit is addictive or what have you. I don't know about all that, but studies have come out that literally shows that certain UV light can increase your chances of coming up with skin cancer.
Yeah.
And so guess what? I don't know if people know this, John, but your skin is an organ.
Right.
And you only get one of those.
That's it.
Now it regenerates, but it only regenerates when it's working properly, and cancer stops it from working properly. And I mean, the idea of your skin cancer is just, to me, is unthinkable.
And cooking it under artificial light, I think they're starting to see that it's not really a good idea.
Well, that's exactly right. But that's what's given rise to this particular industry and growth in this industry, where people can now, you know, look to get away from the light.
Yeah.
You know, the lighting aspect of it, and really pay more attention to, well, you know, how can I get into some self-tanning products that are going to help me reduce this risk and still give me the great even tan that I want. Now,
the self-tanning product manufacturing industry has experienced an average annual revenue growth of 22.7% per year since 2002.
That is double-digit growth over that period.
And like you said, with the dangers of tanning beds and and us finding out that, you know, I don't know if it was ever a secret, but us finally accepting the fact that UV light could possibly be aiding in certain types of skin cancer. This business not only has shown great promise, but it's going to continue through 2017, and it's expected to grow at 10.7% over the next 5 years.
Yeah, and folks, that's an annual average growth rate.
That's right. That's annual.
That's year over year. Over 5 years, that is more than 50%, folks.
Wow.
That's over 50% growth.
You know what I wonder?
What's that?
I wonder how much self-tanning products does Stephen K. purchase?
What? I don't know. Well, I don't know. Stephen's pretty dark, though.
Stephen, you tell us. I mean, go ahead and let us in on the secret.
Stephen's pretty dark, though.
Zero tanning products.
You don't use tanning products, Steven?
Y'all are making fun. Camera.
Well, if you haven't seen Steven, he's not as tan as Urban myself.
Yeah,
so
a little bit of a clue there.
Well, I tell you what.
What's funny is I do tan easy.
Is that right?
Yeah, the Italian half of me tans easy.
I get
it
it.
accepts that light.
And
that,
sometimes the Polish half of me burns easy. So it just depends.
Well, self-tanning product manufacturing is definitely something for you to consider if you are looking to get into something that has something to do with taking care of the human body.
Sure.
Now, in addition to that, this is another industry that was on that list that is experiencing double-digit growth. Pilates and yoga studios.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that they are popping up
everywhere. They are
popping
up everywhere. And let me tell you what, all you got to do is Google yoga.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get a list, folks. And the big deal about that, though, I think coming off 2008 and people in this recovery mode, I mean, that can be stressful.
Yeah.
And yoga is seen as one of those kinds of things that can help you reduce stress.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: it definitely is one of those things. I've had the owner of a local yoga studio on the air with us before.
Yeah,
I
remember.
Jenny Yoga,
yeah, I remember
Jenny
that.
Burgermeister
That's
on,
right. That's right.
And I ended up going to one of her sessions.
Oh, did you really go?
And it was fantastic.
Wow.
Talk about a stress relief and a workout, I might add.
Yeah, and a workout on top of that.
Oh man, I was
Well,
sweating.
wait a minute.
bullets.
Now, how does workout and stress relief work together?
You know what? It is just something that you have to experience.
I guess you just have to experience it. Well, folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Ring Central. To get Ring Central's virtual PBX for your business, you can give them a call today at 888-716-5022. More in a moment, right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
The storm's coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Captain Jerk today. Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. And speaking of fast growing, if you are in the market to put a fast growing movement into your sales strategy, you want to consider Sales Nexus. Sales Nexus is a CRM that is guaranteed to help you in terms of managing your leads and prospects in such a way that it will pay for itself and increase your overall sales. You can go online and try it for free if you go to www.salesnexus.com. If you're watching us at cruzandhughes.com, then you see the banner just behind us, and the web address is on there. We encourage you to try it out, and Irv and I both use it, and it has made a difference in our ability to close a sale.
Absolutely. And let me just say this, folks. You know what? You can go out there, you can buy a lot of CRMs, and I got to tell you, Sales Nexus, what sets it apart is not only do you get a customer relationship management system, but you also get a quick and easy way to populate your database with brand new prospects. And folks, that's a feature you just can't find everywhere. So certainly we encourage you, go to salesnexus.com, download that, read all about it. Lots of great training and support that comes with it.
Absolutely. Now, talking about the 10 fastest growing industries, we closed out the last segment talking about yoga and Pilates.
Pilates. I love the way you say Pilates.
Pilates.
See, I say it with a Texas accent like Pilates. I don't know the right way to say it. But it sounds like Pilates.
I've been working on that all day. But now, from 2002 to 2012, the industry grew at an average rate of 12.1% per year, and is expected to expand just in 2012 by 5.1%. And going into 2017, it's expected to grow at an average annual rate of 4.8% per year.
So that's almost 25%.
I would say over the course. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Folks, and the reason why we're giving you these numbers, folks, is because these are industries that have been documented that, unfortunately, a lot of small business owners miss because you just don't. Nobody necessarily comes around and says, "Hey, did you know the yoga and Pilates industry is really growing, and it's growing at better than 20% over a 5-year period?"
Right.
And why this is important is because its 10-year growth was 12%, and now in 5 years it's going to grow over 20 or nearly 25%. That's doubling.
You know what I love about business intelligence? You know, I love about what we do, especially as it relates to having you as a partner, bringing information like this, because here it is. We talk so often about industries that I particularly myself may not be a customer of.
Right.
But that does not mean that there's not huge growth
that's being
experienced. And so one of the things that you have to think about, sometimes people say, well, figure out what it is that you like and figure out, what products you support, and you might want to consider doing that. But these are things that are completely different than many of us have ever tried.
That's right.
And you're talking about an industry that's going to experience 25% growth over the next 5 years.
That's exactly right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, hey, folks, you may not be a yoga or Pilates person, but hey, find something you can do in that industry.
Absolutely.
With your particular skill sets.
You may sell yoga mats. You may not open up a studio.
That's exactly right.
A book with yoga positions in it.
That's exactly right.
So there's businesses around each industry.
That's
and
right.
if the industry itself is going to, if you know that cars are going to grow at an average of 20% over the next 5 years, then you might want to start selling tires.
That's exactly right.
So you may not, want to sell cars, but the car can't do anything without a tire.
That's exactly right. Same thing with yoga and Pilates. You might want to get into the rubber band and bungee business.
Absolutely.
And create a product specifically for those industries.
Now let's talk about emerging technologies.
Emerging tech, always fun.
Now when we think about emerging technologies, so many things come to mind. But as it relates to this list focused a little bit on the social network game development industry.
That's right. Now, and what's interesting about that, John, is that's an industry that just simply was not there before.
Right.
So this is a brand new outcropping of an opportunity industry. Really, I call it an opportunity industry, because when an industry just pops up out of the result of another industry,
correct.
Boy, there's an opportunity there if you got, if you're playing your cards right, you got the right glasses on. And out of social media.
I was just about to say, before Facebook, right? Think about it. I mean, where did you go to play these types of games?
No, you couldn't.
So and Farmville.
Farmville.
I mean, now I got to admit, I did get hooked on the game.
Did you?
For a short period of time.
Okay,
and
right.
You talk about a time hog.
Would it eat up your time, John?
It eats up time.
Farmville, I love that.
But you think about it, it's a game with these low resolution graphics.
Sure.
And you're in there tending to a farm, a virtual farm, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've tended the crops, there's really nothing else for you to do. So you got to wait for time to pass
mm-hmm.
before you can get back in the game and do something else. And then you think about EA Sports.
Right.
You think about all these other companies,
right?
Call of Duty,
right?
Special Ops, and they're spending millions and millions of dollars on all of this technology to make these games very realistic, more interactive.
Right.
And then you got a company like this that comes along.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm getting at. We were not connected before like we are today.
Right.
And I always marvel at these things. My kids, my youngest one especially, this guy plays games with people all over the world.
Certainly.
And and the whole technology just to translate languages real time.
Yeah.
So that they can communicate.
Yeah.
Is amazing to me.
Yeah.
But that's what's given rise, and one of the things that's driving this industry about social network gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who are developing these games, folks, there's demand for these kinds of games.
Now, this number is staggering. So for social network game developers, since 2002, the industry has grown an average at an annual rate of 128%. That's 3 digits.
That's absolutely astounding growth.
That's incredible. The industry, an industry like you said, that before Facebook, none of us really knew about, and they've grown 128%.
But now, John, these games, to be fair, these games are free to play.
They're free to play. They're low cost games in the sense that, you could be sitting at your computer, sign up, and start playing immediately. But I tell you, one of the things.
But how do these folks make any money?
One of the ways that they make money is that even if you're playing Farmville, right?
Okay.
So everybody wants to have a pretty farm because all the other farmers that you're friends with in your social network can come and view your farm.
Okay.
Well, you can buy like little barns and specialty animals
with real money.
With real money.
What?
They call it Farmville cash, but it takes U.S. currency in order to purchase, and that's how they make money.
Wow!
And these guys are making money hand over fist.
That's incredible.
Now, in 2012, the industry revenue is expected to grow 20%, and over the next 5 years, revenue is projected to grow at an average annual rate of 22%.
John, at 22% at an average annual growth rate over 5 years, year over year.
That's another 100.
That's 110%.
110%.
So it'll slow down a little.
Just a tad bit.
Just a tad. Well, wait a minute. But no, that was 2002 to 2012. So that's actually not a slowdown because now,
2002 to 2012 was 128%.
Okay, and so then it's going to go 110% though over half that time.
Correct. Well, that's true. That is not a slowdown.
That's not a slowdown at all.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. Because now what's happening is it's going to grow 110% in half the time.
Wow. You know what I hate? That I was never a technical person.
Yeah.
I took a computer programming class in the 8th grade, and our first assignment was to do something interactive.
Mm-hmm.
I entered in literally about 4 to 5 pages of code, colon, backslash, underscore,
wow.
If then, go to.
Yeah, if then else.
And after I finished all of that and I hit enter, the screen changed colors between magenta and purple. And I'm thinking to myself, you mean I invested 2 days of arduously making certain that every character was typed in? I immediately got out of anything technical.
Well, you know what happened to me? Is
What?
I'm old enough to remember something called punch cards.
Oh, yeah.
And I punched cards with this giant machine that was probably about the size of our broadcast office here at Cruz and Hughes. And I got the cards, and they all had to be in order, and you had to put them in something called a card reader. And a guy bumped into me, and I dropped them.
Wow.
And that put me out of it. That put me out of it completely. I mean, I was done.
Well, I tell you what, if you have any skill whatsoever in developing catchy, free games, this is definitely an industry that you want to pay attention to.
No doubt. So what's next on our list here, John?
Next on the list is eyeglasses and contacts.
Eyeglasses and contacts.
Yeah, it's a growing industry, and they're increasingly being sold through online stores. So most of these numbers relate to online sellers of people who purchase eyeglasses and contacts online.
Well, now how do you buy eyeglasses online? Because I'm at an age where I'm legally blind. Okay, but I have to go in and see somebody, and they have to put the glasses on me so I can tell what I'm going to look like. I'm going to sit in the mirror. They got all these mirrors. I'm going to sit around, and they're going to try different
and
ones.
that's the way I've purchased glasses in the past as well. But now they got this crazy little app where you could take a picture of yourself, upload it to their website, and then you could just keep grabbing frames and putting them on your face.
On my virtual face.
On your virtual face.
My virtual me.
Yeah, and you're putting all of these different frames on until you find something that you think you look good in, and then you make your purchase.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't know. When we come back, we need to talk about these numbers because this whole idea of virtual contact lenses, I don't know how I put a contact lens on my picture and somehow or another I'm going to feel better about buying a contact.
Well, especially if you get the colored ones. I mean, I think you'll look really good in some blue ones.
Oh man, I'm all. You know what? I got the wrong type of hair for blue. That's what it is. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. Listen, when you need credit help, get a free consultation today. You can call them at 888-744-7081. Don't go away. The education continues right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, Look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan.
The storm's coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. Where are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
Oh. I think I missed him.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I missed him.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love to. How about global thermonuclear war?
Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?
Later, let's play global thermonuclear war.
Fine.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
All right, welcome back to the show. And that, sir, is why we refer to our producer as the producer extraordinaire, Mr. Stephen K.
Absolutely is. I mean, John, do you remember War Games?
Oh, man, that's one of my favorite movies.
I mean, that was just so perfect, man. Artificial intelligence.
You know, I just wish I had the mindset to understand, accept, and even perform the task necessary for programming a computer. It's just that I just couldn't do it.
I understand. Well, listen, when we went to break, we were talking about me putting eyeglasses on my virtual face on a computer.
Right. Eyeglasses and contacts is an industry that is growing. And just to give you an indication of where they have been since 2002, between 2002 and 2012, the online eyeglass and contact lens sales industry has grown 28.2% on average annually.
Wow. And so over the next 5 years, we're talking about 8.8 per year over year.
Correct.
All right. So over 5 years, so we're talking about a good 48%.
49%. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, you have a lot more people that are not going to be walking into brick and mortar stores that are going to buy their lenses and their eyeglasses.
Or at least already have their choices made.
Absolutely.
Wow, and that could work both ways. We got to be careful with that one.
Yeah.
Because, you could actually have people where online purchases literally just usurp the brick and mortar folks.
Right.
Or you could use it, I guess, depending on how you position yourself, where you could drive traffic right into your door. And if you got a fast enough system, people can come in and say, hey, here's my order.
Yeah.
I want these.
But think about it. I mean, for someone who doesn't have the revenue to dress up a brick and mortar branch, you could really invest in a very nice virtual store, and still make a nice living selling them just online.
That's fantastic.
And if you work out the right arrangement in China, you could just have the products drop shipped with your name right on the box. I mean, that's the way you do it.
That's the way you do it.
So
only in America.
The next business that you may want to give some thought to is the 3D printing business.
3D printing.
Yeah.
Now, how does 3D printing work? I understand 2D printing because I can run my paper through a printer and something comes out on the page, whether it's picture or text.
Well, 3D printing is a process in which successive layers of material are laid down until the product is finished.
Oh, you're talking about material.
Well, it's printing.
Yeah.
But what 3D printers allow you to do is they allow a manufacturer to create something from precise schematics in a single build process. So you're doing a 3D version of something that you've actually...
Sure.
I guess you call it a printer, but it makes a 3D animated object.
You know what? I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen that on Mission Impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. That really exists. You know, there was a special on a news show here about a young girl who could not walk, and she has robotic legs, robotic metal legs
Sure.
that she puts her legs in.
Robotic prosthesis.
Right, prosthesis that help her walk, and they were made on a 3D printer.
That's incredible. And I guess to get the right fit, that is what you need.
That's definitely what you would need. Now, the only thing is with that, you had some guy who was trying to make a gun with a 3D printer.
Right.
And
right.
the company that manufactured the printer, they went and took their printer back.
Yeah.
I don't condone using it. It's always somebody.
It's always one of those.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that it's a phenomenal technology.
Sure.
Where you can put in a plan, and this thing actually creates
a 3D model of that.
Yeah, an object.
And I guess it's scalable as well.
I would think so.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Now, this industry has grown at an average rate of 8.8 per year since 2002, with 20.3% growth expected in 2012 alone.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's definitely growing. And if you find where you can actually get a printer, I mean, who knows what you can do with that industry.
I wonder what these things cost. Maybe we can leave that up to our listeners to research that and give us a call and let us know what these things go for.
I'm very interested. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the cost is so high that you may want to consider leasing one as opposed to
Sure. Oh, yeah, because
it.
especially considering, we're talking about emerging tech here.
Yeah.
So, there's some obsolescence built in that.
Certainly. Yeah. Now, also, let me finish by saying that this is a rapidly growing industry, and it's expected to grow at 14% over the next 5 years.
That 14%
annually,
over 5 years, year over year.
Year over year.
Wow. Yeah. And see, folks, when we're talking about these numbers, these are industries you should dig into.
Yeah.
Find out where you can fit in one of these industries.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you've got some sort of expertise, a connection,
there's opportunity.
There's opportunity there, and let me tell you what, money flows toward opportunity.
Absolutely, it does. Now, there's some other upstarts that you can consider. One is for-profit universities.
Now, what's a for-profit university? I know about those universities I went to, and I always thought they were for-profit because they cost a fortune to go to.
Well, first of all, let me say that every university essentially is for profit.
Oh, well, help me. Okay.
Every single one is.
So what does this mean about a for-profit growth in a for-profit university?
Meaning
that mean?
But it's not a non-profit, it's not a state funded or owned school.
Gotcha.
This is a business like a Kaplan University.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay, I got
that. And this industry has is projected to grow 5% even over the next 5 years. That's year over year.
Wow.
And their revenue will grow at an estimated 3.6% per year on average.
So if that's the case, then we're talking about in half the time, basically this will double. Now, what are some of the drivers for this, though?
Well, you think about it. How many people are graduating from school? I mean, we got so many. Even in my neck of the woods, they built like 5 high schools over a period of 2.5 years.
Well, sure.
So you got all of these kids that are now vying to go to some of these great schools, and everybody can't get in.
Just can't get there.
Everybody can't get in. So the thing is that now you have some of these kids who can't get into a UT or can't get into a Rice University.
Right.
Everybody can't go there, but they still want to get an education. So, they'll go to one of these for-profit schools and get their education and start their life.
And I guess, too, John, people trying to get retooled.
Yeah.
People who are...
people who've been displaced in the workplace.
Yeah. People who've been upended for whatever reason in the workplace, and now, they're looking for to get retooled. They want to get retrained. They want to see what skills are transitional. And so I can see a lot of some drivers there for-profit kinds of university where somebody's wanting to go and take advantage of that. And that's some substantial growth, folks.
Absolutely.
So education.
If you are an educator and you can get an accredited university, it may be something that you want to consider because by and large, there are a lot of universities that do not have any classes on site. Most of your students can take all of their coursework through the television and or through the internet.
How cool is that? Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. This segment was brought to you by GrowSocial.com. You can maximize social media like Facebook and Twitter for your business. You can call Grow Social at 877-484-3961. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
The storm's coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irv and I are talking about the 10 fastest growing industries, and this is to give you some indication or some thoughts in terms of where you should invest, where you could invest not only your money but your time in terms of putting a business plan together and possibly starting a business in one of these industries.
Absolutely.
Now, because we're in our short segment, we're going to just give you the last two. The first is the generic pharmaceutical manufacturing industry, and over the past 10 years, it has grown at a rate of 9.6%. and is expected to grow at an annual rate of 6.3% through 2017.
30%.
Yeah.
More.
Or more.
Yeah.
Or just over 30.
Just over 30%.
So that's a good business.
And then, John, the hot sauce industry.
Man, I had to read this twice. I was thinking, hot sauce? Really?
Folks, I teased John today before the show. I said, John, we're going to talk about the top 10 fastest growing industries today, and I'll bet you will not guess one of these.
And I didn't. Hot sauce production has experienced 9.3% growth. Or excuse me, just this year is expected to grow at 9.3%, and while it has grown steadily at 4.5% annually.
That's exactly right. And guess what? Over the next 5 years, 4.1% year over year, John.
So if you are one of those guys who makes a very good hot sauce, you might want to consider bottling that and bringing it to market. There is growth for that industry.
No doubt about it.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce, John. And you know what, folks? One of the drivers for that is people from around the world, now people in Europe, Canada, people who are coming around to the U.S. palate, as it were, with regard to what's on the dinner table.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Get in that business.
Get in the hot sauce.
Today we've talked about the 10 fastest growing industries. Guys, we'd like to hear from you. If there's ever something that you want us to discuss or you want to get involved in the conversation, you're always welcome to give us a call at 347-857-3958. Irvin, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Small Business Today, which has been brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. To get your free copy of the publication that we do here in Houston, Texas, you can go to www.smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. So until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
And Irv and I will see you tomorrow.